8 News at 5:30 starts now.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Juan Conde.
I'm Amy Lacey. Our top story for you right now at 5:30. 3 years after she disappeared without a trace, a suspect has been charged with murdering Layla Namaranian. The Chesterfield woman's ex-boyfriend, Michael Edwards, is charged with first-degree murder. Edwards was indicted by a grand jury yesterday. He's currently being held at the Chesterfield County Jail without bond.
All the detectives that did such an outstanding job over all these years to try to bring a little bit of closure to the family.
Edwards will be in court tomorrow morning at 9:30 for a pretrial hearing.
Our other top story tonight, the State Board of Health is about to vote on whether to amend controversial hospital standards for abortion clinics. 8 News reporter Mark Tenya has been following the story all day. He's been at a meeting as well. Mark, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, the Board of Health has been discussing those amendments for hours. Right now, as we speak, they're discussing those construction-like standards that have been so controversial for abortion clinics. Here's some video of what it looked like earlier today. Both pro-choice and pro-life advocates filled the room this morning before making public comments. Pro-choice advocates have been fighting hospital-like standards adopted by the General Assembly under Governor Bob McDonnell, saying the standards do nothing to improve women's health. Pro-life advocates have been fighting to keep those standards in place, saying inspections have shown serious deficiencies at those clinics. But the board, now with some appointees from Governor McAuliffe, are considering amendments to those standards and allowing existing abortion clinics to be exempt from stricter regulations. State officials say only 5 of the 18 existing clinics fully meet the new codes. Both sides getting a chance to express their opinions during public comments, including a pro-life advocate who used a baby doll to make her point.
Rip. 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 And there's absolutely nothing sacred about this. It's the use of her conscience to make these decisions. And these regulations don't allow the use of her conscience and her intellect to make these decisions. Therefore, make these amendments.
Now, this is far from over. Even after the regulations are adopted today, the Attorney General's office will still have to review it, and there will be more public comment before a final vote. Of course, we'll keep you up to date. Stay with 8 News for the very latest. For now, live in Henrico, Mark Tenya, 8 News.
We now know the name of a Hampton sailor who died after collapsing during a training run. He's been identified as 35-year-old Chief Petty Officer Anthony Tuff. Tuff collapsed while doing a training run near Fort Monroe on Tuesday. His death now under investigation. Also developing right now in Hampton, a teenager is charged for having a gun on school property. Police say the loaded gun was found after a school resource officer searched that student. He's been placed into a juvenile detention center.
In Norfolk, Wesley Hansel has been indicted by a federal grand jury on a charge of possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Hansel had also been charged with obstruction of justice in the disappearance of his daughter, Angelica A.J. Hansel, who you see here. She was found dead last spring of a heroin overdose. The state charge was dropped when federal prosecutors filed the ammunition charge. If convicted on the ammunition charge, Hansel could face 15 years behind bars. We have an update now on the bike trail that links Richmond to Jamestown. It's finished, and just in time for visitors from around the world who love cycling. Here's 8 News anchor Morgan Dean.
Miles long, it's 10 feet wide, and it's open for business.
Years in the making, the Virginia Capitol Trail is now complete, just as hundreds of thousands of cycling enthusiasts are expected in town for the UCI Road World Championships.
This is like a magic carpet. It'll transport you to history, it'll transport you to natural beauty, and it'll do it all while improving your health.
It's been a sprint to the finish line for VDOT crews working to get the path done in time for the bike races. We shot this video back in June. Crews have been working at a breakneck pace to get all the trees cleared, the bridges constructed, and the lanes paved.
At our May board meeting, there may have been 73% of the trail completely done. That tells you the scale of how much VDOT and the partners have gotten done in this last section. Almost 20 to 30% of the trail has been completed this summer.
While the UCI Road World Championships won't use the new Virginia Capitol Trail, Now that it's open, bike enthusiasts will be able to come down here, and they'll be right next to all the action because the UCI race does use Dock Street, so this will be a very busy viewing area.
Crews are still putting the finishing touches on some sections. They'll be doing landscaping right on into the winter this year. Even without a big ribbon cutting yet and not much of an announcement about the trail being completed, people are already using it.
I have seen more variety, more diversity in people and modes of transportation. I've seen rollerbladers, I've seen heavy-duty bicyclists, I've seen recreational bicyclists, lots and lots of walkers. It's pretty much everybody.
It's exciting. It's exciting to have something in Richmond that's like this available.
We caught Andy Wessel and his family pedaling away on the trail on Monday morning. They were just finishing up a 10-mile ride. He says Richmond should be proud of this.
We just moved here from Pittsburgh a couple months ago, and we have a trail there, but it's all limestone, so the fact that this is paved is fantastic. It's a lot smoother.
In Richmond, Morgan Dean, 8 News.
And some news tonight that affects everyone if you own stocks, homes, cars, or even credit cards. The Federal Reserve is eyeing your interest rates. 8 News anchor Christina Ferrick is tracking the latest.
Well, the Federal Reserve had investors on edge today. They ultimately decided on no raise in key interest rates for now. For nearly 7 years, the interest you pay has been at a record low, nearly zero since 2008. The Federal Reserve has kept the rates untouched to help the economy and the stock markets following the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. But before the end of the year, analysts expect the Fed to raise its key short-term rate. A higher Fed rate would eventually send rates up on many consumer and business loans. Now, as for stocks, they ended mostly lower after a volatile day in trading. The Dow was down 65 points, the S&P 500 gave up 5 points, and the NASDAQ rose 4 points. Amy?
General Motors will have to pay $900 million to settle criminal charges over its faulty ignition switches. The problems have been linked to at least 124 deaths now. GM admits its employees knew about the deadly design flaws for nearly a decade before it started to recall vehicles. No corporate executives will be charged in this case. GM has not commented yet on today's settlement.
In other auto news, testing began today on controversial guardrails that line Virginia roads. Trinity Industries has been under fire since it admitted to changing the guardrail design without notifying the government. Critics suspect safety was compromised. Some claim they caused unnecessary injuries or even deaths. Those guardrails passed federal tests earlier this year. Coming up tonight on 8 News, why this Army sergeant held by the Taliban for 5 years could be heading to a court-martial here in the States.
And after the break, a 9/11 lie. We have more from a comedian who now admits he's not a Twin Towers survivor. John?
Oh, a live look outside. A great Thursday afternoon. For us, we should snap a postcard of this, send it to our friends, say, in Pittsburgh in the middle of winter, to tell them how great Richmond happens to be. Great night tomorrow night for the high school football games. Clover Hill against Monacan. Kickoff temperature of 78. Verina at Hermitage, 79 degrees. Lee Davis out at Glen Allen checking in at 77. On Route 54, Mills Godwin out at Patrick Henry. Kickoff temperature of 76 degrees. Christina?
Coming up new on 8 News at 6, 20 Virginia high school students told to take off clothing featuring the Confederate battle flag. Find out what happened next. Plus, could your child soon be going to a different school in Chesterfield County? The county's talking about redistricting. What parents need to know. That's ahead at 6.
You are watching 8 News at 5:30 today. We are covering the news where you live.
From Centerville all the way out to Cold Harbor. Stay with us. John, Amy, and I are back with more 8 News in just a moment. Welcome back. The Army will decide whether an American soldier held captive by the Taliban for 5 years should face a court-martial. Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is accused of desertion and misbehavior in 2009, leaving his post, which led to his capture. He was freed in exchange for 5 detainees at Guantanamo Bay. The American high school buddies who disarmed a gunman on a French train were honored today at the Pentagon. The ceremony for Anthony Sadler, Spencer Stone, and Alex Garlatos was hosted by the Secretary of Defense. Afterward, the men met President Obama at the White House, who expressed his gratitude for their bravery. Obama also teased Scarlatos for joining the cast of Dancing with the Stars, which you can see here Monday night on 8 News. A comedian who claimed to be at the World Trade Center on 9/11 makes a shocking confession.
And it is sparking a lot of debate, a lot of people heated. Steve Rannazzisi now admits he lied about escaping the Twin Towers back on September 11th. Up until a week ago, the League actor stuck by his story that he was working for Merrill Lynch when the first plane struck the North Tower. But it was all a lie. He never worked at Merrill Lynch, and he wasn't even in Lower Manhattan at all on 9/11. In fact, Merrill Lynch did not even have an office in the Twin Towers. He has apologized. He issued a statement that says, "I don't know why I said this. This was inexcusable. I am truly, truly sorry." But he has been trending online. So many people saying very bad things about him, saying he needs to do more than an apology.
It'll be interesting to see if he takes them up. I mean, people are still very emotional about 9/11.
9/11 really struck a chord.
Interesting. BK is ready for Halloween with the creation you see before you here. Is that a moldy bun? Not sure. Would you try it? Wait until we tell you what's in it.
And we have a live look for you outside. You cannot see it in this, but you can probably still feel it. The ragweed, it is horrible. We are talking allergies after the break. John.
That nice warm weather with no rainfall out here is letting the pollen flow free. When might we get a little rain and wash it out of the skies? Details are coming up next.
We're back with new information now. The air that we breathe could be harming more people than ever. The World Health Organization estimates by 2050 we could see more than 6 million premature deaths every year. Energy emissions from fuels used for cooking and heating have the largest impact worldwide.
Speaking of the environment, boy, it's tough to get a better day than today. Beautiful, right? What you can't see is ragweed floating in the air. You may be feeling it. The Asthma and Allergy Foundation says about 10 to 20% of us suffer from ragweed allergies. And a single ragweed plant can release over 1 billion grains of pollen in a season. It appears, John, there's plenty to go around here in Central Virginia this year.
There is, and some of the research cited by Climate Central in Princeton, New Jersey is actually saying that all plants that produce pollen, because of temperatures warming in the climate, are producing more and more of it, which is not good news for the allergy sufferers. We need some rain to wash it out of the way. I don't see that happening in the next 4 to 5 days over us here. Little weak system up here in the upper Midwest. It's been producing some showers over Wisconsin and maybe a couple of thunderstorms up there, but that system's running out of juice in our direction. The one down along Florida has got some rain lurking off the coastline of the southeast, but that's just kind of sliding up through here right along the coast. None of it's coming inland, so for at least a while, nothing is heading our direction, except for nice weather to be outside. 81 degrees in Ashland right now, 82 degrees Glen Allen, Mechanicsville checking in at 82, 79 degrees over in Lakeside. Down on South Side, we've got temperatures checking in still in the middle 80s. Colonial Heights and near Matoaka High School, the two warm spots checking in at 85 degrees. Tonight's forecast for Central Virginia, it's a fine looking night for you. Fair skies continue over us, light winds, and let's call it cool. Temperatures head down to around 60 degrees. A little pretty good dew on the grass early tomorrow morning or on the cars. When you wake up, another beautiful day for a sunshine tomorrow. The weather where you live is about 83 to 86 degrees here across Central Virginia, towards 80 to 81 towards the coastline, 86 degrees, I think, down in Williamsburg, 82 degrees off in Tappahannock. Southside checking in around 85 and back off to the west toward Charlottesville and Gordonsville, temperatures between 81 and 83 degrees. There's the sunshine on the map tomorrow for you. A few clouds continue with maybe a small chance of a sprinkle on the Outer Banks, but they just can't make it here to us. We're going to head into your Saturday. We will wake up Saturday. It's going to turn into a mostly sunny day for us here across Central Virginia. Weather system beginning to come in from the west. Don't look for any rain coming our way, but it will eventually bring us some cooler temperatures by the time we get into Saturday evening. Next week, there is an opportunity for some rainfall coming in here. We're in the 80s through Sunday, a little cooler, back in the 70s next week. Now, maybe Tuesday evening a shower. Wednesday, for the Elite Men's Time Trial, we're looking at temperature 74 degrees. That might be the best bet for rainfall. And then into next weekend, possibilities of more rain as we get towards the road race coming up on Sunday. We're going to be coming back right after this.
There's the music. It's time to see what's trending on this Thursday.
I'm excited, Christina. What are we looking at today?
We got some good stuff. Up first, Doritos taking a page out of the Skittles handbook. Wants you to taste the rainbow. Take a look at this Doritos limited edition Cool Ranch tortilla chips. Now, the company has teamed up with the nonprofit It Gets Better project. This campaign supports lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender youth. But now you can't get your hands on these colorful chips in stores. You can only snag a bag if you donate $10 or more to the project. And more food on this Thursday. Burger King is releasing this Whopper for Halloween. It's on a black bun smothered in A1 steak sauce. Last year, a similar burger was released in Japan. It was a hit there. Burger King says it will also release a pumpkin spice Oreo shake. So, lots of food trending today. What do you think, guys?
I think I'll pass both of those.
I just think it's hilarious they would sell limited edition chips.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As if somebody's not going to break into that bag and you'll be able to save it like a memento for years.
A purple Dorito just sounds...
Looks a little strange.
Blue corn.
Well, you can join our conversation on the 8 News Facebook page or send us your favorite trending videos. Just search 8 News. Amy?
Thanks, Christina. Can wearing a tech device help with pain? It is the first device of its kind to be FDA cleared for use while sleeping. And we have more details after the break.
Don't forget, we want you to become a part of the 8 News team, especially with the UCI Road Worlds in town. When you see news where you live, let us know about it at ireport8@wric.com. You can also call the 8 News hotline, 330-8000. Either way, stay with us. We're back with more in a moment.
We are back with some health news tonight. A new device claims that it can actually help relieve chronic pain whenever and wherever you need it. Here's ABC's Becky Worley.
Valerie Gregory is a 34-year-old physical therapist fighting to stay active. A knee injury in college has snowballed into consistent pain.
It just hits you right then and there. As soon as you wake up in the morning, it gets depressing over time too, because being so young, I feel like it's always going to get worse.
So to avoid more medicine and surgery, she turned to a new device that uses electric stimulation and an app on her phone. It all tries to trick the nervous system.
It feels like a little vibration in your leg.
Called Quell, this cuff fits on her calf and delivers hour-long sessions of stimulation. So how does it work? Dr. Allison Shrikande is a pain specialist at Lenox Hill Hospital.
It distracts the nervous system by having the nervous system concentrate on touch and vibration rather than the pain.
It's electric stimulation that goes to your brain, and the brain waves are going off and telling the pain receptors to calm down.
Oh, it's almost like a
You can adjust the schedule for the device via Bluetooth on your phone and dial up the intensity as needed.
After about 2 weeks, I had no pain at all.
This is also the first device of its kind to be FDA cleared for use while sleeping. But medical experts say use over 2 hours gives cause for concern.
Constant stimulation of the nerve may cause problems in how the nerves work and also may cause muscle fatigue and muscle soreness.
The device retails for $250 and doesn't mandate a prescription.
What would you say to people who think maybe this is just a high-tech placebo?
It has worked for me, so it could work for you.
Again, going back.
And if it is a placebo, it works.
And that was Becky Worley reporting. It's something to think about if you have chronic pain, but of course you always want to talk to your doctor first before you try something like that. Juan, Christina, over to you.
Thank you, Amy.
So the UCI Road World Championship just a few hours away.
I haven't heard anything about that. Let's see if there's anything. They always have good coverage on 8 News. Let's start.